The World Cup. It's the stage where heroes are born, legends are made, and where even the best can fall short. You see, when we think of the World Cup, we imagine the goals, the magic, the moments that define a player's entire career. But for some of football's biggest stars, the World Cup became a haunting reminder of what they couldn't do: score. And today, we're diving into something that might just blow your mind. A list of legendary forwards, some of the greatest goal scorers in football history, who never found the back of the net at the World Cup. These are players who terrorized defenders at club level, broke records, lifted trophies, but when the world was watching, silence. Stay tuned, because I promise you, some of these names are going to shock you. Let's start this list with a modern name that surprises a lot of people: Sirro Immobile. The Italian striker has been nothing short of phenomenal in Serie A. With Lazio, he's won multiple Capocannoniere titles, awarded to the league's top scorer. His movement, his positioning, his finishing, they've all made him a nightmare for defenders. But at the 2014 World Cup, nothing. Italy stumbled out in the group stage, and Immobile, well, he couldn't find the net. And since Italy missed both the 2018 and 2022 tournaments, his World Cup goal tally remains frozen at 0. Now let's rewind to 1998 and talk about a man who carried the hopes of an entire nation: Ivan Zamorano. Zamorano was Chile's warrior up front. Tough, physical, deadly in the air. He scored goals wherever he went, in Spain with Sevilla and Real Madrid, later with Inter Milan. But when Chile finally returned to the World Cup in '98, Zamorano just couldn't get his name on the score sheet. Chile made it to the round of 16, but Zamorano's World Cup dream remained incomplete. Next up, a player with style, grit, and a trophy cabinet that most can only dream of: Gianluca Vialli. Vialli was a superstar for Sampdoria, Juventus, and later Chelsea. He played at 2 World Cups for Italy, in 1986 and in 1990 when the tournament was held on home soil. 7 appearances, countless chances, but no goals. Imagine, a player of Vialli's quality, unable to make his mark in front of a home crowd. It happens. Now we move to a man who, in Germany, was feared for his finishing: Mario Gomez. Gomez was a classic striker. Tall, powerful, clinical. He racked up goals in the Bundesliga and across Europe. But on football's biggest stage, total frustration. In 2010, despite Germany reaching the semifinals, Gomez was goalless. He missed the 2014 tournament due to injury, and when he returned in 2018, Germany had their historic early exit. And again, Gomez couldn't score. And to close this first half of the list, one of the greatest midfield engines football has ever seen: Pavel Nedved. Okay, technically more of an attacking midfielder, but with his cannon of a left foot and incredible attacking presence, you'd expect him to notch at least 1 World Cup goal. But at the 2006 tournament, despite being the leader of that talented Czech Republic side, Nedved couldn't find the net. The Czechs were eliminated in the group stage, and that was the end of Nedved's World Cup dream. Alright, buckle in, because now we're getting into the truly elite names. The ones that almost feel unreal when you hear they never scored at a World Cup. First up, Luis Figo. The Portuguese winger was a magician with the ball at his feet. Ballon d'Or winner. Galactico. He played for Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Inter Milan, dazzling crowds all over Europe. But in 2 World Cups, 2002 and 2006, despite the tricks, the assists, the leadership, Figo never scored. Portugal reached the semifinals in 2006, but that elusive World Cup goal, it never came. Speaking of players with unreal records, how about Frank Lampard, the Chelsea legend, England's all-time top-scoring midfielder, a player known for arriving late in the box, smashing shots from distance, and scoring in all kinds of big games. But the World Cup? That was his Achilles heel. 3 tournaments, 2006, 2010, and 2014, and not a single goal to show for it. And let's not forget, even when he did score, like in that infamous 2010 match against Germany, the officials robbed him of it, the ghost goal. It crossed the line, the whole world saw it, but the record books say 0. Next, Marco van Basten, a name that echoes through football history as one of the most technically gifted strikers ever. Remember that stunning volley in the Euro '88 final? That moment alone made him a legend. But the 1990 World Cup was a different story. The Netherlands underperformed, tensions were high, and Van Basten couldn't find the net. One of the greatest finishers of all time, silenced at the World Cup. And then, Zlatan. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the Lion himself. Over 500 career goals, a highlight reel longer than some players' entire careers. But at the World Cup, zero. Sweden qualified in 2002 and 2006 with him leading the line, but he left both tournaments without a goal. And ironically, when Sweden made it to the 2018 World Cup, they did it without him. And finally, perhaps the most surprising of them all, Robert Lewandowski, one of the most feared strikers of his generation. Record breaker at Bayern Munich, goal machine for Poland, now a star at Barcelona. But when he arrived at the 2018 World Cup, expectations were sky high. Poland had a talented squad. Leva was at the peak of his powers, and yet, nothing. Poland crashed out in the group stage, and Lewandowski finished his debut World Cup goalless. He did score in 2022, finally breaking the curse. But that first experience remains a reminder of how tough the World Cup can be, even for the very best. And there you have it, 10 legendary forwards, some with hundreds of goals to their name. But when it came to the World Cup, not a single one to celebrate. It just goes to show, the World Cup is different. The pressure, the expectations, the atmosphere, it can break even the most proven goal scorers. Which one surprised you the most? Was it Zlatan, Lewandowski, or maybe Figo? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this dive into the surprising side of football history, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Because in football, even legends have their blind spots. Thanks for watching.